You think losing your ex has destroyed you. You think the pain you may be feeling right now means you'll never be the same. But hear me when I tell you, your ex can only ruin your life if you give them permission to. We give so much power to the people who walked away. Hell, we build entire identities around being left or being hurt. Then we wonder why we feel broken, why we feel so stuck, why we feel like there's no hope for our future or, life is so depressing. We wonder all these things, but your ex can never break you unless you let them. And I'm going to tell you how to take your power back fully right now. Now, I've touched on this subject a number of times, but I keep revisiting it periodically because different people need to hear it in different ways. And a lot of people are struggling with the same thing continuously, year in and year out, right? But understand that the pain you feel is absolutely real. But what hurts most is the meaning you're attaching to it. That's the piece. It's the story you keep telling yourself over and over again that holds all the weight that you're carrying right now. Stories like, I must not be lovable. They took everything from me. I wasted all that time. Or the, classic, I'll never find love again. I'll never find someone like that person again. Problem is, these are just thoughts. They're not facts. But you're acting like they are facts, when in reality, they're just interpretations fueled by fear, abandonment, and emotional shock. And those things turn pain into identity if you're not careful. Your grief is absolutely and always valid. But your self-destruction, that's optional. See, your mind is the battlefield, not the breakup itself. You fear the idea of being left more than the actual reality of it, to where when it happens or if it happens, you are more shocked by the reality of your fear coming true, and you pour into that and you start creating all these additional meanings to it, and you blow up that meaning beyond the reality and clarity of what's actually happening. If you stop, calm yourself, and be able to look at it objectively and from all angles and not just through one lens. The real pain comes from what you made their exit mean about your worth. The emotional dependency you didn't even know you had to them. Or one of the most painful ones, the fact that you lost yourself while loving them. And yes, that can be a really hard pill to swallow. But here's the truth. You didn't lose your world. You just lost them. Not saying they weren't valuable and it didn't mean something to lose them, but they don't equate to your world. They're a part of it. And so when you recognize this, then it becomes your mission to focus on rebuilding the parts of yourself that you neglected, you ignored, or that you gave away. So how do you take your power back? Well, the very first thing you have to do is separate your worth from their choice. They left. They hurt you. That says way more about them than it ever will about your value. Second, you got to refuse to worship the pain. Some of you are just replaying the worst moments in your head over and over again. Heck, maybe you're replaying the best moments, right? That's making you want to hold on to your ex. Either way. Some of you are overanalyzing what went wrong over and over again. Where could this have changed or what have you? When the past is never going to change. It is what it is. It's cemented now. It's in the history books. If all you focus on is pain, then you will quickly and very soon forget your power. Because all you're focusing on is what you don't want. All you're focusing on is the pain point. You're focusing on the realization of your biggest fear or whatever the case is. And it will absolutely consume you. Yep. Because your brain is amazing at giving you answers to whatever you ask it. And it's amazing at only drawing things to help whatever you decide you want to focus on. It's a tool. And that tool will do whatever you ask of it. So if you keep letting your mind run away with you because of the raw emotion, maybe there's a unhealed wound of abandonment and different things like that, that this event is now bringing to the forefront, and you allow it to take you on the ride, on the roller coaster, then you're going to be on that roller coaster, right? The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and your mind's going to run with whatever is actually steering the ship, which is your nervous system now, your actual subconscious, a lot of the wiring in you, the conditioning, because you're not consciously taking the wheel, doing something to break the pattern. And you're just letting your mind feed itself more of what your that inner child is asking for, or those inner wounds are begging for, because they think this will help you in some regard, right? Focusing on that problem will help you be aware of it and to look out and move around it. But all it's doing is letting you consume yourself in it. But what you have to do is shift the lens, right? Start utilizing your past, because your ex is your past now, for educational and build-worthy tools, right? What did I learn? How did I grow? What did I survive? Or even a great one, what will I do differently going forward in my next relationship? Questions that will empower you, right? Because they'll make you better. They'll give you better clarity. They'll bring you to more of a zen or a peace. They'll give you hope for the future. All things that allow you to feel optimistic and excited and vibrant and breathe life into yourself, feed your spirit, not deteriorate yourself, not take away from you, not make you somber and quiet and retract inward and shrink, right? Get sad, become depressed, have high anxiety, all the things that feels horrible to go through. You start to give yourself a light at the end of the tunnel that you can breathe life into towards what's to come, and not being stuck on a carousel living in what has already passed you and that will never change. And the third and probably most important one, you have to rebuild the value they added without them. So ask yourself, what did they bring to my life? All right, get it all down on paper so you can see what we're working with. Right, and give substance to it. Why was this of value to me? You need to know the meat and potatoes as to why that was valuable to you and why it's so hard to lose that or let go of that when they're not in your life anymore. Then you ask yourself the million dollar question: how do I recreate or replace what they added with me, with myself, on my own, with my friends, with my family, with my routines? How do I, in my own ecosystem, self-reliant, recreate or replace the value that they brought to my life? Because a lot of you are feeling like, oh, I can't move on from my ex now because they brought out the best version of me, right? Or, I was a version of myself I didn't believe was possible with them in my life. Or they always anchored me and helped me stay centered and grounded. All things that are screaming to you, there's work you need to do on self-mastery of yourself, because all they did was help inspire and help to pull out parts of you that were already there. That if you learn the tools on your own on how to bring those things out of yourself, you don't need them anymore for that. And now you'll have the same kind of value in yourself that you had in them. This is why I always scream from the top of the mountains. It's our job to become healthy, healed, and whole first. Meet all of our core needs on our own first. And it's our partner's job to be an active contribution to those needs. But whenever you're not doing a great job of meeting those needs on your own, and someone comes along and helps pull some of those things out of you that you didn't realize were not being addressed or was even in there, then you start attaching all the significance and the weight and the value and the ability to have that part of you or that experience you're having to that individual, instead of the real sources coming from, which is you. They're just a great motivator and a seed to blossom or help you blossom what's already inside of you. And the moment you attach the significance all to them and not to yourself in any regard, that's the moment you give your power away. So you take it back by recognizing I can recreate or replace this within myself on my own. And if it's something that has to require another human being outside of yourself in order to get some of that feeling, that's when you bring the friends in, bring the family in, right? Go to events, go to places where you can get that kind of, connection type of energy or vibe or experience that you need. Just as close as you can get it to it not being the romantic one that you want, right? If you get creative enough, you can really recreate a lot of those type of things, but also changing what the meaning of that connection has to be. Does it have to be a romantic intimacy for you to feel that connection? Or are there other ways you can get that same sensation without it being romantic, just shy of it being something to where, no, it just has to be my lover or not, or nothing at all, right? Because a lot of you are determining it's the lover or nothing at all at the first impulse because of the raw feeling without vetting and breaking it down and making sure that's what it must be for you. Because if you did that, you'd find the experience of moving on and healing to let go and all that is a lot more attainable than you're giving yourself credit for. The point is, love does not only live inside of them. You can get love, you can receive support, you can get encouragement, you can have fun, you can get excitement and adventure without having to go back to them. They are not the sole source of that. It doesn't live and die with their involvement in your life. Heck, the only reason why it felt so amazing in all those areas with them in your life in the first place is because in your mind, you decided the experience that they were giving you or bringing to you or adding to your equation produced that out of you. You gave yourself permission to set off the chemical balances and feel the sensations of happiness and joy and all the things and feeling loved. That was you. All they did was show up and be who they were. You determined what they were or who they were meant to you and what it gave you permission to feel and therefore experience. This breakup is not the end of your worth. It's not the end of your joy. And it's not even the end of your love story, right? It's a mirror. It's reckoning. It's a reset for you. It's just like a video game. You get to start over with a new life if you choose to see it that way. And if you handle it right, it can be the single greatest transformation of your life. It was for me at one point when I was going through my relationship woes years ago, and then the light bulb came on for me, and I pressed that big red stop button. And I decided to lock out and do the work, right? Life hasn't been any better or healthier or more vibrant since. Heck, even more prosperous since. If you need help going on that journey right now, you're in the thick of that painful breakup, and you're stuck illuminating on all the bad things that happened and what went wrong and all the stuff and feeling hopeless towards the future, and you want to change that and break free and take your power back so you can actually get to that healed, healthy, whole space and be right for the right person that's out there waiting for the healed version of you so you can have that happily ever after you don't think it's possible right now, then email or DM me the word coaching and we will get to work as long as you're truly ready to put that work in. If you're not ready for one-on-one coaching, don't have the time, space, maybe even the resources, then at least email or DM me the word transformation so I can give you the link to one of my transformation courses for you as an individual to get yourself where you need to get to be healed and whole so that you can get back on that saddle the way you want to, at your own pace, on your own time. Either way, do something to get in the race. Let's get it.